We are starting. Welcome to everyone. Our guest today is again Drew Graham, fresh off win over Dylan Duncan. So, how do you feel about this win? How do you feel about this win, Drew? And then we'll go with question by question. I have a lot of entertaining questions this time for you. Please proceed with how you feel. What was your strategy for the fight? How were you preparing about for the upcoming battle and so on?
Well, I can't even put into words how happy I am that I got the win here. This has been it's been a long time coming. You know, we had the media day on this channel. You've seen kind of how heated things were between me and Dylan. It was very personal rivalry, shall we say. There was a lot of animosity going into the fight. So getting my hands on him and this dynamite right here, overhand right. So it was the most satisfying thing ever. It was so much euphoria running through my body. It was just one of the best feelings I could ever have. The strategy, I found as much tape as I could on Dylan. I studied him. I like watching tape. And I crafted this excellent game plan. I got this big whiteboard out. I wrote everything I knew about him, everything about his style. And I'd seen that he left himself open from certain places, and that's how I was able to connect with overhand right. It worked out completely perfectly. That's pretty much it. It was a great victory for me, if I do say so myself. And I'm looking forward to moving on to better competition.
What was it like fighting at the same time as Mayweather versus Paul?
Well, yeah, that was pretty interesting. So we had a kind of a conflict of interest there. So if you were a dedicated fight fan, you would have to make the conscious decision of either watching Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul or watching our fight, because our fight was on at the exact same time as Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. Obviously, they got a little bit more attention than us, but it was good. It was good motivation, knowing that at the same time we were fighting, there was one of the biggest boxing fights of the year going on. We had to put on a show, made me and Dylan a lot more competitive, shall we say.
How did you feel your performance went against Dylan?
Incredible. Let me tell you this, lad. I'm sure you're familiar with the performance bonuses that fighters in the UFC get, right?
What happened after the Dylan fight?
It was a bit, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. There wasn't a big brawl in the crowd or anything like that. But I seen him backstage, and he was pretty respectful. Someone who wasn't respectful after the bout was Ali the Poontang Preston. Called him out in a post-fight interview, and he was in the crowd. He was talking all this smack. He threw a water ball at me. Let's just say that when I get my hands on Ali the Poontang Preston, and I will get my hands on Ali the Poontang Preston, it will be his end of days.
What's going to be your next fight? Did you discuss with Otis?
It's looking like it's going to be Ali Preston. I think sometime in the end of July we're going to get one done. I like to stay very active, and plus I did not take a lot of damage whatsoever in that fight.
How much damage did you take in Dylan fight from 1 to 1-0?
I'd say probably a solid 2. He did hit me with a couple of body kicks, which can't really see right now because I'm writing this Hawaiian shot. It looks very similar to the one I wore in my last interview, but it's a bit different. So yeah, I just like it. It's nice calls and everything on it.
The strength and conditioning coach Graham Kidd after being attacked, and what happened during the attack?
Okay, so this was, of course, in the build-up to the fight between me and Dylan. My strength and conditioning coach Graham Kidd, he was ruthlessly attacked in a car park in Kirky, and it was senseless. It was needless. It could have been easily avoided. He didn't instigate the attack. He was attacked with a metal pipe. But he's recovering quite well right now. He's still in hospital, but he's up. He's recovering. He's talking. So we're wishing the best to Graham Kidd.
What are your thoughts on Robert Hughes getting engaged?
So that's an absolutely amazing feat. My boy Robert Hughes, he's been there with me since day one. Him and Otis, they've been in there since my corner. He was there for the fight as well in my corner, as well as Otis. And he's getting engaged to a South Korean supermodel, very attractive woman. So fair play to Robert Hughes. He's got it done for being quite a lovely guy.
What can you say about your new training partner, Megan Turner? Sorry if I misspelled. English is my third language, so if I misspelled, correct me.
That's completely fine. So, Megan Turner, some would call her the most dangerous flyweight outside of the UFC right now. She is an absolute tank. One day, she came to our gym. I've got this guy in our gym called Matthew Ewing, and she picked him up like he was nothing. Trust me, she's not that big of a woman, but she picked up Matthew and she was doing like squats and everything with him, she was doing bench presses with him. She's an absolute tank. Trust me, she'll be coming on the scene soon.
More of a private question, but how hard it is to train with a female training partner? I mean, is it hard for you or not? For example, I was having a hard time when I was training when Milika Mandic was preparing for 2012 Olympic Games. My coach was insisting me to spin and so, but his orders were not to hit with 100% of damage.
It's a bit of that, but sometimes they might come up to you beforehand and they'll tell you if they're comfortable with it being, as hard as you would do it with a man. Megan Turner, she's an absolute beast. She's one of the hardest sparring partners you can get in Scotland, to be honest. So, I mean, if I wasn't taking it easy, I would have got completely handled. I had to really keep my guard up when I'm sparring with her.
Actually, I've read one research where one of the scientists said that women can take more damage than a man in a fight. So I don't know what do you think about that, but definitely sounds like an intriguing topic to discuss.
That is certainly an intriguing thing there. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that women have a higher pain tolerance. Obviously they have to give birth, which surely can't be a very pleasant task. I'm pretty sure that they do have a higher pain tolerance. I remember that from something. But I'm not sure about taking as much damage. I don't try to say anything, but I feel like women's fighters maybe don't hit as much. Well, not hit as much, but hit as powerful. Do you know what I mean?
What can you say? What are, according to you, successful keys to landing a clean overhand right that turns the lights out on the opposing fighter?
Well, sometimes, depending on how skillful or how weak some of the defences of the opponent are, overhand rights or overhand lefts, overhand anything might not be available. You might have to kind of craft a different game plan. But if you do enough research and enough tape watching, you will see the perfect place to find an overhand right. It's there on almost every MMA fight on the planet. You just need to find out where to be, where your feet are, and just know that you have the power. Some people just don't have it. Some people just aren't capable of getting that knockout punch. But people who are just genetic freaks like me, they can just turn the lights out with one bang, one overhand right.
How irritant it is, according to you, fighting against Southpaw? For example, people were always criticizing me for being a Southpaw. They were saying that I'm pretty much irritant because of the opposite stance. What do you think about that?
It can be difficult, but I'm very adaptable. I do switch stance quite a lot. I can really work either way. When I'm orthodox, I've got a really good body kick with my right. I've got a really good right hand, really good sharp right hand. When I'm southpaw, I jab with my right hand, so I don't really have a lot of power in my jab in my left hand. So if I'm going to jab, I can switch. A bit like Dustin Poirier. You know how he's he's right-handed, but he still jabs with his right because it's more powerful. That's kind of what I do. And I've also got a nice little Rosenstrike kind of leg kick that I can use on a southpaw stance. But it is more difficult fighting southpaw guys because I can't get as much stuff off. But Steve Ray's a southpaw, so we got a big experience in there training with him. And one day, Vlad, maybe we can train with each other, and I can truly learn how to fight a guy with a southpaw stance. Because as far as I'm concerned, Vlad, you are the best southpaw stance in Europe right now.
Thank you so much. Well, in general, I was always having a hard time because I was having a hard time fighting Orthodox always. I was trying, when I was a kiddo, but I can fight, but I don't have a feeling. When I stand like this, I don't have a good feeling, and I don't have good feel of the strike. I assume you can work it out as the time goes by, but yeah. Thank you so much for mentioning me, shouting me out in the post-fight speech. And how was the feeling? I mean, how are people accepting the fact that a guy from the different part of the globe wants to promote? Like in my state, people are pretty much narrow-oriented to this market, and this is a very narrow market. I mean, from what I've seen, Scotland is stacked with prospects. I mean, I know Paul Craig is a vet, but I still see him as a guy who can go high. We got Jojo, we got many good fighters. Stevie Ray was fighting in the UFC. I mean, Scotland is stacked with prospects, but what do you think about the future of Scotland MMA in like 2 or 3 years?
I think we are going to take over the world. I think that there is a star that is in Scotland right now, and his name may or may not be Drew Graham. And I think that once I do arrive in the UFC, I'm going to do what Conor McGregor did for Irish MMA, basically do that for Scotland. I'm going to make everyone understand how tough we are. And I think, honestly, the reason that there aren't that many Scottish fighters in the UFC is because there's not that many of us. There's a lot more kind of English people and a lot more Irish people. If our population was up, I think we'd have a lot more killers in there. I think we've only got, maybe 5 UFC fighters right now. Maybe not even that. I think it might be about 4. And we've got Paul Craig, John Calderwood, Casey O'Neill, and Danny Henry. Because Steve Ray's retired right now. But Cage Warriors, as you can see, it's a bit more local. We've got a lot more kind of Scottish guys in there. Ross Houston, obviously, I think he's still in Bellator right now. But as far as the post-fight interview went, I think people were just really, really happy with it. They seem to be big fans of yours. People, I was in the back watching it. I was kind of just shadow boxing, and I just seen it on the big screen, and everyone was kind of just like, yeah, who is this guy? So hopefully you've kind of gained a few more subscribers from that. I think you're definitely grown in popularity in Scotland. In fact, I would say outside of maybe, the areas surrounding, Serbia and Bulgaria, the kind of the places that people would recognise you most. I think there's a massive audience for you going in Scotland right now. I think we've got a big fan base here, especially in my local area. There's been a lot of people who have been mentioning UFC celebrities and classics right now.
Thank you so much. It pretty much means a lot to me. This is going to be the final question. Who is your favorite Scottish MMA fighter at the moment, and why? What makes him or her so special compared to other Gen Pop?
So my favourite Scottish MMA fighter right now is fighting this weekend against Jamal Hill. It's my boy Paul Craig. What makes Paul Craig different is his ability to have such a skilled jiu-jitsu game. Jiu-jitsu isn't something that you see a lot from guys from the UK, but I think that especially in Scotland, we shine in jiu-jitsu. Danny Henry is the only guy to beat Hakeem Dawodu, and he submitted him very early in the first round. I think it was under a minute. Paul Craig has got submission wins over Gadejimad Antigulov, Kennedy Zechku, Magomed Ankalaev. I think that Paul Craig has got a pretty good chance of latching up a nice triangle on Jamal Hill this weekend, to be honest.
Thank you so much for the interview. Would you like to add something? Would you like to give a shout out to somebody, or maybe say something we forgot to say? And also say massive thanks to Otis.
I will indeed. So, a few things I need to get off my chest. First of all, Vladimir, as you're aware, I did get that nice overhands right. And, I think you could probably guess from the way that it sounds, Vladimir, would you say that sounds like performance of the night, in your opinion?
I can say that. So,
a nice £500 £500 bonus for the overhand right. That is real right there. There you go. That's £50 there. £500. That has got to be getting spent on more and more and more Hawaiian t-shirts. As much Hawaiian t-shirts as you could imagine. It's an amazing feat. Next thing I want to say, Ali the Poontang Preston, you little gimp, you are going to get flattened when you step in the cage with me. You think that I made Dylan look easy? You're going to look a fly, like a mosquito. I'm going to swat you off my arm. I'm going to hit you off the face of the earth. People are going to forget who you are. People are going to be thinking, who's that guy, Ali Preston? I don't even remember him anymore. And there's a lot of people waiting in the wings to fight me. I'm one of the fastest rising prospects in Scotland. 2-0. 2 knockouts. I'm coming for blood. The Scottish MMA scene is not ready for what I'm bringing. Ali the Poontang Preston is going to be the next victim in a long, long line of them. Next thing I want to get off my chest, I want to thank my gym that I'm working at right now. We've got killers in the wings. As you said, Vlad, Otis, one of the nicest men you'll ever meet in your life. Maybe one day we will see an interview with Otis on this channel. Maybe one day we'll see an interview with Megan Turner on this channel. That could be something that could happen in the very near future.
Well, if Megan is interested, we can slide it down. Just say Otis to message me, okay?
I'll get on that. Robert Hughes, of course, Robert Hughes. we obviously previously mentioned him getting engaged to his very hot South Korean wife. He's also one of my day one boys, you know. You got to appreciate that. Another person that doesn't get appreciated enough is you, Vlad. We've got to give our respects to you because I've been building up this for a while. Yes, the Bulgarian Cowboy. I'll be getting that merch soon. Trust me, I'll be walking out with the merch in my next fight. I'll be having the Bulgarian colours on my fight suit. So I don't think that this would have been happening. The attendance, the amazing attendance, the VIP booth, our special guests, Andy Murray, MC Noak, all the people that we had at the fight with me and Dylan, and all the views that they got on our website, I think that half of that at least is because of our media day that we did, and that is all because of you, Vlad. That you made that possible, you made that responsible. You gave me my first ever MMA interview. I think it's sitting on like something like 150 views right now. My first interview, you know, that boosted my confidence massively of what I can be in the MMA community, and I think I put my name out there a lot more. You know, honestly, this isn't me trying to big up myself here too much, but anyone who's dealt with a bit of fame, I'm sure, Vlad, I know you live in Serbia right now. I don't know if this is the same for you, but when you're walking the streets, do you sometimes get like fans come up to you in Serbia?
Not much, but in Bulgaria I was having many situations where people were like, hey, let's talk to you. I was like, come on, I don't have glasses. How do you recognize me? They say, oh, come on, Vladimir, we do know who you are. When I was in Kustendil, it was happening many times.
Yeah, so I'll be honest. This is just me telling the truth, okay? This isn't me inflating the truth or anything, trying to make myself up to seem like a bigger deal than I am. I'm a very popular guy in Scotland right now. Honestly, when I'm walking around the street, I do get crowded quite a bit. There's a lot of people come up to me like, "Oh my God, Joe Graham!" And I don't just rush past them. You know, I don't wear glasses, so it's easier for them to recognise me compared to you, I'd imagine. Oh, who's that? Nah, I'm kidding. You have to recognise that face, and you know who else got to be recognising that face? John Morgan. He'll be recognising that face someday. When he's looking up at the lights after getting knocked out and he's got to see the Bulgarian Cowboy standing over him, victorious. One day that will happen. But yeah, as I was saying, I do get crowded quite a bit. It's hard to walk some places, you know, I just go to my local corner shop, you know, go get a chippy or something. You know, I do get a lot of people coming to me. Even if I'm waiting in line, you know, I'm ordering a meal, some people come up, tap me on the shoulder like that. What is that going on? I turn around, it's a wee kid, like a wee 2-year-old kid, like, oh my God, did I get my love you? It's like, I don't even know if kids should be watching my fights. My fights are quite violent, to be honest, so that kind of concerns me. But the dream is one day, who knows how it's up to, let's be honest, it's up to John Morgan. If John Morgan can accept this fight soon, we can have main event, 5-round main event, Drew Bucky Graham versus Ali the Poontang Preston, 5-round co-main event, the Bulgarian Cowboy Vladimir Vlad versus the fat scumbag, the hypocrite, John Morgan. And then in the feature fight, the 5-round feature fight, the MMA guru versus James Lynch. It needs to happen. This needs to be put on there. And Vlad, I know that you have you're not really like that close to him, but Vlad, do you have any connections at all with the MMA guru?
No, aside of what we do comment on MMA channel, but he found me. I didn't find him. He found me. He was posting my videos. I mean, I was very happy when he discovered me. I mean, later I discovered him, but I was always I'm a guy who likes to hide behind the shadows. You know, I've never been too much. I've never been too much of a dominant guy. I was always doing my job. But MMA Guru found me. Actually, he helped me skyrocket my career. So I don't know. Maybe MMA Guru is not a guy who likes to hang around with Gem Pop. I mean, I respect that. I'm also not a guy who likes to hang around too much. So I understand how it works, how it plays out. But you know, some people simply don't like popularity. For example, me. I'm kind of a different guy. I mean, listen, I would never call John Morgan out if he didn't criticize fighters on missing weight, because that makes no sense, man. I mean, come on, you can't defeat 180 pound guy and you weigh over 300 pounds. I mean, come on, man. Even if he drags me to the ground, it doesn't mean I'm gonna have to survive. But dragging me to the ground not gonna be easy for him. I like to run around the circles as well, as you've noticed.
Yeah. Vlad, I'm not trying to slight you here. This is me trying to say, for as long as I can go, hopefully even by the time I'm UFC champion, I want to be on this channel doing interviews because I don't want to forget my roots. This is where I started. When I am the UFC featherweight champion, I want to be sitting on the UFC Celebrities and Classics channel. But of course, Vlad, as you know, I do need to kind of broaden my horizon. So one day, maybe I get a James Lynch interview. I've heard that the Guru's got to be starting doing interviews soon. Maybe I could be his first ever interview. So if you can in any way, it would be good for you to connect me to the MMA Guru just to let him know that I'm here because he's got a big audience as well. I think he's on like 17k subs right now. He's rising quite quickly. So it would be amazing to get that audience there. Yeah. One other thing, one other person I want to shout out was I don't know him personally, I don't know him in real life, but Vlad, you might recognise him. He's been in the comments quite a bit. Shamil Abdurikimov, Appreciation Club. That guy, I don't know him. I've never spoken to him before, but he's in a lot of the comment sections. He's been in a lot of the live chats, and he's been nothing but supportive of me and of Otis. And even when we're not in the streams, he's sitting there defending us against, Dylan and this guy called Owen Cunningham and, Callum Armstrong, the little peg leg guy, and Ali, the Poontang Preston. He defends the good name of our gym. So if you're out there, Shamil Abdurkimov Appreciation Club. I know Shamil's actually got a fight. The real Shamil Abdurkimov, he's got a fight coming up soon. So hopefully he wins that. And then the fan club, the Shamil Abdurkimov Appreciation Club, he'll be happy from that. So if you're out there watching this, I'm sure you am because you're a big fan of me. I hope you like this. I hope you like this shout out here.
Thank you so much for this. It means a lot to have such a level of respect. I will start editing video now. Hope like 1-2 hours. I don't know how much will I need, but I will put the video on my channel pretty much as soon as it finishes editing.
Okay. Well, what an interview. What an interview.